Hello, my dear students. We are dealing with chapter 3, and this session will be the last session for chapter 3. So, end part of this chapter, it will include the different life cycles in all the type of plants. So, we have categorized, we have learned earlier the different plant groups like algae, bryophytes, then pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So, how their life cycle it is present, which type of phases they are seen. Actually, though we have learned it earlier, we are familiar with the term alternation of generation, and this chart that is showing how the alternation of generation takes place. So, sporophytic phase and gametophytic phase. Sporophytic phase, it is a diploid organism which we denote by 2n, and with the help of meiosis it will produce haploid n number of having n number of chromosomes. So, haploid and haploid organism is known as it is included in gametophytic phase and it is gamete producing phase. So, this is shown in the diagram. So, this concept is very basic to understand the further topics. So, this word is you should remember this word alternation of generation. Here sporophytic phase, it alternates with gametophytic phase. So, students, in different organism there are three different type of patterns. First pattern is haplontic life cycle, and if you see the diagram, it is divided into two colors. So, first blue color, it is showing syngamy, zygote formation and then meiosis. Syngamy, I have explained you earlier, the fusion of gametes, male and female gametes, they fuse to form zygote. This is known as syngamy. And zygote then after meiosis, it will produce n number of spores which are having n number of chromosomes. And then if we see the pink colored part, then spores they develop a gametophyte, and then after gametogenesis means formation of gametes, again the syngamy, through syngamy the new plant body that is developed. So, this cycle it repeats. So, here both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis, and this ability leads to the formation of different plant bodies. So, haploid plant body and diploid plant body. Only the underlined part you are supposed to learn and write for exam. The haploid plant body produces gametes by mitosis. This plant body represents a gametophyte, and following fertilization the zygote also divides by mitosis to produce a diploid sporophytic plant body. So, actually we can say that the gamete producing phase it alternates with spore producing phase. So, this is the main event blue part which is we have seen occurring. That haploid spores they are produced by the plant body with the help of meiosis, and these in turn divide by mitosis to form a haploid plant body once again. So, actually this life cycle it alternates with each other, means sporophytic plant body alternate with gametophytic plant body. So, in previous slide we have seen the diagram of haplontic life cycle, and here actually the meiosis in the zygote result in the formation of haploid spores, and these haploid spores further divide by mitosis and forms a gametophyte, and the dominant photosynthetic phase in such plant is free living gametophyte. So, this kind of life cycle is known as actually haplontic, and its description is given in this slide. Few examples are there like volvox, which is a colonial algae, then spirogyra, which is a filamentous algae, and some species of chlamydomonas which represent this type of haplontic life cycle pattern. These two diagrams in this slide, they are showing further type of life cycles. In this, the upper diagram it is showing a diplontic life cycle, and the lower one it is showing haplodiplontic life cycle. So, actually three type of life cycles we can see. In the upper diagram on the extreme, it is the type where the diploid sporophyte is dominant and photosynthetic, independent phase of plant, like we have seen in pteridophytes earlier. The gametophytic phase is represented by a single to few celled haploid gametophyte, and this kind of life cycle is diplontic. All the seed bearing plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms, they mainly follow such type of pattern. So here also blue color and pink color, like this they are divided. Last is haplodiplontic life cycle, mostly in bryophytes and pteridophytes. They exhibit an intermediate condition, as the name indicates, haplo and diplontic. So haploid, haplontic and diplontic word, they are actually here, both are included. So it is an intermediate type of life cycle, which is showing a multicellular and often free living condition, and however they differ in their dominant phase. It species to species it vary. Even a dominant independent photosynthetic phase, that is thalloid or erect, as we have seen in bryophytes, and is represented by haploid gametophyte, and it alternates with the short lived multicellular sporophyte, which is totally or partially dependent on the gametophyte for its anchorage, means just attachment and nutrition. So example, I have told you earlier, all the bryophytes, they represent such type of pattern where gametophyte is main phase and sporophytic phase is subsidiary. Other example includes pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, the condition it opposites. The diploid sporophyte is represented by a dominant and independent photosynthetic phase, and the gamete producing phase, it becomes a subsidiary phase which is dependent upon spore producing phase. So all the mostly pteridophytes, they will follow such type of pattern. So haplodiplontic type of life cycle, they are seen in bryophytes and pteridophytes. In most of the algal genera, they show haplontic life cycle, but some of the algae like Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, Calps, they are haplodiplontic, and other like Fucus, it is showing diplontic life cycle. So these are some of the exceptional examples. So students, with this we have come to an end of this chapter, and these are some of the questions which I have ticked mark, and you are supposed to write down these answers in your classwork as a part of exercise question 1, 3, 5, 6 and 7. First of all, you have to go through whole of the chapter, and as you know, this chapter will be coming in your second unit test, which will be held which will be going to start with the same month in the last session, in the last week. And other questions include question 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So all these are very easy questions. Try to find out the answers by yourself. Go thoroughly all the topics which I have explained you earlier. It is easy going chapter. You have learned earlier about all the concepts. Some few terminologies and examples, they are new, but try to remember them. Try to solve the exercise by your own. It will help you further in examination. So don't copy down as such, but try to learn and then write. Still, the answers I have given you some of the pictures of the answers. So please follow them, do write them, learn them. Just have a look what are the main groups which are formed. So kingdom Plantae, that is divided into 5 groups: algae, bryophytes, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperms. Algae are divided into 3 subgroups: chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae and rhodophyceae. Bryophytes into 2 groups: liverworts and mosses. Then pteridophytes into further 4 groups like Coelopsidae, Lycopsidae, Sphenopsidae and Pteropsidae. Gymnosperm have no further classification, but angiosperms, they are again divided into 2 subtypes: dicotyledons and monocotyledons. So actually this was the preview of or we can say the summary of the whole chapter in short, but you have to describe all these subgroups with many of the characteristic features. Okay, so these are some of the questions and answers which I have told you. So if you uh, are not able to find out the answers, you can see, you can copy from them, but actually this is not for copying, but I have given you all the answers just to check whether you have written the answer correctly or not. So please, once again, I am just telling you, uh, I hope that you will write down the answers by your own, and then after you will check that whether you have written all the answers correctly or not. So I have given you all the answers. So please complete your work and try to submit all the work in time. All the explanation of the terms like protonema, anthridium, archegonium, diplontic, sporophylls, isogamy, and many more terms. Even the differentiating points between red and brown algae, liverworts, mosses, homosporous, heterosporous, syngamy, triple fusion. So actually all these terms are important to learn, and differentiating points are also given. Even difference between monocot and dicot plants with examples, then some characteristic features of gymnosperms, bryophytes, pteridophytes, their economic importance. So these are some few topics, and in biology especially you are supposed to first of all learn the topic name, because with the help of topic name only you can give the answers correctly. The question format is directly based on the topic name. Even it will help you in your further 12th board exams. So do practice it again and again. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me in my WhatsApp number, and anytime you are free to ask. But main thing is you have to learn and write properly. I hope you understood whole of the chapter. Still, if you are having any doubt, few days are left for preparation. So start preparing this chapter. Chapter 1, 2 and 3 will come, and whatever we have completed, whatever topics we have completed, they will be only asked. And if some other questions are asked, then we will find some solution. But majorly all the topics which are important for further exam or in our syllabus I have completed. Okay, so with this we end our chapter here, and I hope you like this chapter and you will revise it in time. We will soon be starting with next chapter. So till then, bye bye students.